Spain going eyeball to eyeball with their rivals one more time. A day for parading of colours, a day for pride, a day for partisanship, perhaps a day for personalities who will prevail over what could potentially turn into 90 minutes of bedlam. It's time we ask that age-old question again: who is going to come out on top this time? Well, it looks like a big game, sounds like a big game. Everyone involved is absolutely up for it. We stand for the national anthem of France. This is a friendly, but a friendly only in name.
Well, we never really did friendly derbies, not when I was playing, Peter. But it's impossible to keep rivalries in check, completely in check. So while I'm not expecting everything to go flying at 100 miles an hour, this could get spicy.
Underway. And when these two meet, generally speaking, sparks fly.
The midfield three, Peter, I think are going to be key in this lineup because it's a very expansive system.
Yeah, it certainly looks a very front-footed approach.
It is, and with the front three, especially the wide men running at and beyond the defence, there's going to be an awful lot asked of the midfield. They have to supply those balls the attack can run onto, while at the same time maintaining the team's overall shape by linking the front and back.
Foot in. That's ruffled a few feathers, but well dealt with. And it's Camavinga. He's picked his way through. That's an untidy challenge. Free kick given. Dembele. Now it's Morata. Now it's Fabian Ruiz. Fabian Ruiz! It's wide, but only just.
Oh, did the keeper have that covered? I'm not sure he did. I think I need a replay on that one.
Tchouameni, and he skips past his man. So Jim, who would you identify as the key man in this fixture?
Well, Peter, this team has a great engine room in the shape of this guy, Tchouameni. The Frenchman being a robust, relentless pressing machine who also excels in ball retention and recycling. I noticed he's surprisingly good at progressing play when on the ball too. Keep watching him.
Yeah, I'd have picked him too. No doubt the fans feel much the same way. Well, that had the makings of something quite promising, but it's fizzled out into nothing. It's Morata! Goal! Spain! And it's Spain who take the lead. A breakthrough already. Saliba. And the two sides separated by the game's only breakthrough moment to this point. 1-0 the score. Now it's Rabiot. Oh, good spread. Yamal looking to penetrate opposition lines. Saliba.
France clearly are trying to establish themselves as a team that likes to retain the ball, Peter.
And it's a good watch, Jim, isn't it?
Well, it is, and it's always a pleasure for me to see a team move the ball in silky fashion like this. But you know what's coming next, Peter. It has to be with a mean cutting edge.
Mbappé. It looked as though that might lead to something quite promising, but it turned out that that was not the case. Great ball, and he's in here. Mbappé was alert to the possibilities, but in the end it's fruitless. Saliba has a look and plays it forward. No, that's been intercepted. Now it's Mbappé. Now it's Dembele. And here's Dembele. Spread it left. Oh, Red, nice interception. And for a moment you felt that was going somewhere, but they'll have to go again. Yamal. Now it's Morata. Morata! It's loose now and they want to get it back. That is... Oh, he's been caught on it here. Played into the middle. There's the shot!
Well, he got rid because he was under pressure.
Chouameni. Camavinga.
It looks very much like they'd be happy to settle for this narrow lead at the break.
Rabiot. Elise. Now it's Mbappé. And it's Morata. Not the most accurate pass. Nicely spread. Pedri. Distributed tidily. Yamal. Yamal's cross. Koundé gets it away.
Well, it seems as if he's just had a momentary lapse and slipped into tunnel vision because he had good options around him and he failed to get his head up.
Hernandez. Mbappé looks to get on the end of this.
Temps additionnel, 1 minute.
And it's Morata. Now it's Yamal. That's good play. Great defending, strong and determined. And we've reached half-time. So a steady, solid and more than satisfactory first half. They've got the lead and that gives them something to build on after the break. Any strong opinions on the first half?
Well, I think the scoreline offers a fair reflection of the level of endeavour from both teams. I think they lead because they did most of the probing. A little more penetration, I think, should help them get the job done.
Well, the players definitely know they're in a derby. More of the same to come after the break, you can be sure of that. Spain can be fairly satisfied then. It's so far so good for them, and it's 1-0 at the break. And we're off again.
Spain definitely want to carry on in a similar manner, although I would exercise some caution, Peter. You wouldn't want to leave yourself open in the early minutes trying to kill this off.
And here's the chance to counter. Now it's Mbappé. Mbappé is fouled. And he's going to have his name taken. Camavinga. Nico Williams. This looks promising. Upamecano. And it's Tchouaméni. And the whistle has gone for a reckless challenge there. Well, that looks like a final warning. Still no card. Camavinga. Now it's Morata. Spread out to the left. And that's a good ball. It's loose and there's a race for the ball. Tries to get it clear. Pau Kubasi gets over and intercepts. That's very neat. Chance! It's anyone's. And another try! And that is certainly not what he had in mind.
I think that's just more proof that this team is very comfortable playing on the break. They're really swift.
Not the most convincing of passes. Koundé. Now it's Morata. Upamecano did just about enough to come out on top there. Neither party overly... Decent chance! Well, now it's a race for the ball. Camavinga running with the ball. That is good pressure, just hounded him off it. Well, it didn't look good for a while, but that was brave defending and they got away with it.
You know, it was an intervention that had to be made. Serious trouble lay in store.
And no, that is pretty much the end of that. And the shot! Oh, that is rather wayward.
It wasn't the best strike, to be honest, Peter. The pass might have been a better option there.
Your impression so far, Jim?
Well, I think it's pretty clear. The message is to get the job done, and the sooner the better.
That has been knocked clear.
That's exactly what they need to keep doing. Carry on plugging away, and eventually you might just get that little break.
Well, they're looking a whole lot more urgent now.
I think they just have to keep forcing the issue, and they'll get clinical. You can never be short of runners into space, as long as the space left behind is filled.
So time for change, and this one has been on the cards for a little while.
Well, he can certainly make his side a lot more unpredictable, Peter. You know, he has a very good eye for a pass, and a tricky one at that.
À sa place, le numéro 19.
Olise. Fabian Ruiz has created one goal already. Swung over. Yamal. Well, that defending is unapologetically persistent. It's almost personal, and it had to be. Nicely aimed pass. Well, he certainly caught him there. It's a free kick. The referee has resisted the temptation to go to his pocket. It's just a stern lecture.
Yeah, and he's dodged a big one there. He has to be squeaky clean from here.
Changement pour la France. Le numéro 14. Pour le remplacer, le numéro 18.
Dembele. Well played. That has snuffed out the danger.
Well, there's plenty to like about this approach. Get your head down, keep battling away, and eventually things might change for you.
Zaire Emery.
I wouldn't fancy playing up front in these circumstances, to be honest. There's absolutely no supply.
Wriggles his way through, and he's got the beating of his man. Pinches it off him. Spain still ahead by the game's only goal. Now it's Yamal. And it's Pedri. In towards the back stick. That has earned a reprieve for the time being. That's a decent clearance.
Changement pour la France. Le numéro
Spain
8.
have their second
À sa
corner now.
place, le numéro 25.
Last-ditch defending, but that'll do. There will be a throw-in. Chance, surely! And that is wildly off target.
Look, there has to be more urgency here. The ball has to get to the other end much faster.
Yamal. Loose ball now, and there's a chase on to retrieve it. And collective relief etched on the faces of the defenders. Corner number 3 coming up. Hernandez clears it away.
Il y aura 4 minutes de temps additionnel.
And the referee's looking at his watch. We could be done here. Now it's Williams. And he's gone looking for safety. Zaire Emery. Now it's Mbappé. Engages and forces him off the ball. Now it's Dembele. That's that, the end. Well, that was tense. Boy, that was tense. The two sides separated by the game's only goal. Morata claiming the Man of the Match award, and there is very little room for argument. So there it is. What struck you most about that?
Spain really were great today. They showed a lot of battling qualities required in a game like this, such as intensity, personality, a gritty spirit. I think this result was well merited.
And with that, it's time for me to thank Jim Beglin and to wish you a very good evening.